Hello, cats and kittens. Hola, Jose, Yoroshku. I'm back in the crisis corner with my impressions on some One Piece chapters. I'm going to start with chapter 1079, The Emperor's Crew, titled uh, chapter 1079, The Emperor's Crew, the red-haired pirates. And we get some interesting information on the red-haired pirate, on Shanks specifically, but the red-haired pirates in general. But we start at the beginning briefly. We do get the reveal on who the traitor is among the satellites. Turns out it's York. It's a good reveal, solid. You know, she's very conniving. She set up. Uh, she's trying to eliminate the other satellites and Vegapunk so that she'll be the only Vegapunk left, which I'd like to see her motivation. Why do that? But it's a good reveal. It's a solid reveal. I don't think it's gonna work because conniving people usually get what they deserve in One Piece. So she might even get abducted by Blackbeard because we see he's on some of his crew is on the way to Egghead. Blackbeard's playing chess. Everybody else playing checkers. He got his hands in three different incidents. He and his crew, anyway, have their hands in three different incidents simultaneously. For what reason? I mean, yeah, we'll see. But that's so that out of the way. That's interesting. Aside from that, we do get some information about Shanks and his outfit, and that his underlings, usually your underlings are weaker than you anyway, but his underlings are hilariously weak as opposed to Blackbeard, now Whitebeard, and Big Mom. And it's interesting the organizing principle of the Yonko. Whitebeard's looking for family. Big Mom was just building her family by more of a nuclear family based on blood and so forth. Uh, uh, Blackbeard is strategically building his crew, and Luffy's just taking on friends. And it seems like he and Shanks are similar in that regard because Shanks wasn't looking to build some kind of armada that with which he could ravage the world or do whatever. He's just protecting people. And Luffy is likely going to be headed in the same direction. He already is protecting Fishman Island. And you can see a couple other spots. He might wind up Dressrosa, I guess, maybe. Just the lands that he came to, Drum Island, if they needed protection, he's going to probably wind up protecting them. But I don't see his fleet being weak, so to speak. Because some of those guys that came out of Dressrosa, when they formed the Straw Hat fleet, Grand Fleet, some of them guys was legit. You know what I mean? Some of these people that Shanks got under him, they kind of hilarious. Uh, yeah, so there's that. It's interesting to see the organizing principle of the fleets that the different Yonko have. This brings us basically to Kid and his attempt for revenge on Shanks, and I don't know where Kid is going to end up at the end of the story because he keeps getting smacked down. He went up against Shanks the first time, and either him or Beckman took his arm. He goes up against. He stole a polyglyph rub, I guess, from Big Mom and Escape. Hey, that's fine. He went up against Kaido and got locked up. And now he tried to get revenge against Shanks, and now his fleet gets destroyed. I wouldn't bring him back at this point. I wouldn't bring him back into the story because he's starting to be a jobber at this point. But the interesting thing that I think about uh, this destruction of the kid pirates is that it kind of brings me to Peaky Blinders, and Alfie Solomon's basically telling Tommy that his anger in that particular instance was unjustified. And Shanks, when they first encountered the kid's pirate, looks like he gave him a slap on the wrist. Not ready to mess with me. And like I say, somebody took his arm off and they sent him on their way. Basically, they didn't do anything. You know, it looked like Kid was the only one that really took damage. Being the captain, it's just like, this is a lesson for you. Like, get out of here. So he's coming back looking at revenge, looking for revenge on somebody that could have killed him from the beginning, but really did him a favor. Now, Shanks didn't get serious until his future sight showed him Kid blasting his fleet. I mean, he was preparing for the battle. He was going to go up there and deal with them again. But when he pointed his gun, so to speak, at his fleet, he got serious and just took him out. He could have left it at, the shot that he took at Kid and put down Kid and Killer and just walked away. But then he had Dorian Broggy destroy their ship. And like they said at the end, say if you what do you say? Dorian Broggy said, "Hey, tiny humans, if you want to point your gun at our home, just remember what goes around comes around," and that's real. That's what he was going to do to Shanks. Mainly Shanks. It wouldn't have had no effect on the Redhead Pirates ship itself. They probably could have just deflected the cannon blast or did whatever. But his fleet was going to take, as he said, the damage is too severe. Shanks. Through his future sight, he saw his fleet getting blown up, and he said the damage is too severe, and it looked like he got pissed. So he put down Kid and Killer, and then the Giants just obliterate their ship. I mean, it's done. They're gonna have to, if they survive, they're gonna have to find a new ship because Dorian Broggy destroyed it, cut it in half. So that's the end of that. And like I say, that was fair. That was fair. So it's consistent with Shank's character. I'm gonna do to you just as bad as you was gonna do to me or to my people. Worse if you was gonna do it to my people. And he just had them annihilated. The rest of the crew didn't even have to join in the fight. It brings another question in my mind. The power scaling here is strange because Kid took some serious shots from Big Mom. One-on-one with Big Mom, he would have got killed, but he had Law with him to back him up, and they double-teamed her and put her down. I questioned some of that fight, but fair enough. But he showed some resilience. But then he gets one-shotted by Shanks, who ain't even sweating at the end of this. So is that to say that Shanks is stronger than Big Mom or stronger than... I don't know how it shakes up the power balance because I don't know who's stronger than who at this point. My impressions with the Yonko were relatively equal. They were kind of balanced. You know what I'm saying? If they got into a battle royale, it would be a pretty good battle, but you couldn't really call it, because one of them was stronger than the other. But at this point, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to wonder if Shanks was stronger than the rest of them from the beginning. And I'm kind of getting that impression because, I mean, he one-shot a Kid who took some pretty decent shots during the arc. But this was, it was like he wasn't, they were dead. You know, if it looks like Shanks could have took out his crew by himself. Only got Dorian Broggy involved in it, maybe to give him something to do, I guess. But I'm not sure that he couldn't have killed them all, or at least beat them all down by himself. He was only, and the rest of the crew of the Redhead Pirates. What I think, let me see, might have been Yassov or somebody might have been getting ready to get involved. Oh no, it was Lucky Root. He said, "Don't worry, Captain, we'll handle it." And then he basically waved them off and said, "You know, I'll take care of that." And he deals with the kid pirates. And another thing, I think you can see that the Redhead Pirates are a professional outfit. They had intel on people. They went into that fight like professionals, professional pirates anyway. So they're very, very competent pirates. Not to say that the other Yonko weren't, because Big Mom had her intel on various machinations going around in the New World, and no doubt the same with my man Kaido. But they seem pretty together on how they approach dealing with Kid. Now, also take into account the Kid was no real threat to them, but they still went about their business as professionals. So I give them credit for that. But just the power balance, it seems a little bit off. Uh, I'm curious to see who really is the stronger of the Yonko at this particular point. Even though in my impression is that the power scale of the Yonko has dropped, especially when you take into account people like Buggy, you know, getting into the mix, and to an extent Luffy, because his crew, I still don't say that's a Yonko crew. It's top heavy as all get out, and they're new. The Straw Hats are new to that scale, so I would count them on the lower end. The lowest end I would put. Now I can't say that because Buggy got some killers. He got some beasts in Crossgill, but I don't know. It just seems like the balance of power is a little bit off because I don't understand exactly how strong Shanks is relative to the rest of them. There's that. I mean, nice chapter. It probably brings up more questions than it answers, but nice chapter. And like I say, I would not bring Kid back into this again. I mean, and that's shocking to me because I thought he was going to be relevant in the story going forward, and Law would probably drop out of sight. But now it looks like Law is about to be captured by Blackbeard, if he isn't already. And actually, the Heart Pirates, it looks to me like they put up a better fight against Blackbeard than obviously the Kid Pirates. They didn't put up a fight at all. I mean, he definitely ain't ready. Kid is not ready to step up to the level of Yonko. I say the Straw Hats more so because their captain went toe to toe with a Yonko and pretty much won. He had some help at the beginning, but in the end, it was just him and Kaido, and he beat Kaido. I mean, that's just what it is. But at every turn, Kid's been getting smashed. And this should just be the end of him. Let the legend of Captain Useless Captain Kid end here while he's, you know, still got some pride. You know what I'm saying? Because anyway, so I like the chapter, but it confuses me a little bit. Uh, that's all I can say about that. So I'm gonna hurry up and give my impressions of 1080 and see where the story goes from there. So that's it. Uh, Let me know what you think about the power scaling in the story amongst the Yonko? I mean, who do you think's the top dog and why? So that's it. Until next time, stay loose.